Cage side with Casey Oxendine. I am Vince Ferrara here at When Worlds Collide in Rome, Georgia. We're ready for our next bout. Lathon, Lawson, Yemi, Oduwole. This should be absolutely electric in the pro portion of our card. It's a catchweight bout at 160 pounds. It's presented by OEB Law. Thanks to them and all of our great sponsors that are a part of this very unique, one-of-a-kind event here in Rome, Georgia. Conflict MMA and Valor Fights Promotions coming together to put together this beast of a card. We're ready. Let's go to
Ladies and gentlemen,
cage.
are you ready to see some professional mixed martial arts action? This bout is a catchweight at 160 pounds, brought to you by OEB Law. First, please welcome to the cage, Lathon Lawson.
Lathon Lawson out first, and whoa, what a terrific fighter Lawson is. He is first out in this pro bout out of, yes, Rush MMA American Top Team, so well represented here tonight in Rome, Georgia. Casey, tell us about the talented Lawson.
Well, Lawson really grew up in the Valor Fights promotion. He has done so much to cultivate his career, of course, trained by Bubby Mitchell. This guy has really done everything he needed to do to solidify that next step, and he is taking it here tonight at When Worlds Collide, making his pro debut. Now this kid, he has a tremendous top game, heavy pressure on top, but he is not afraid to sling that leather either. Expect fireworks out of this kid.
You know, he had been, his first fight was at 155 pounds, had been fighting at 175 pounds. He's now in a catchweight bout at 160 for this one, and he continues to get better. He said he's appreciative of Valor Fights, always putting him into great bouts, and he's got another one with stiff competition in the put-together Yemi Oduwole.
Yeah, absolutely. Yemi Oduwole, what a tough talent. We'll talk about him in just a moment.
Lawson's in the cage. He's put together as well. Back to Jennifer.
And his opponent, making his way to the cage, please welcome Yemi Oduwole.
Yemi Oduwole is 0-1 as a professional, but has a terrific amateur record as well. It's 7-2, and then of course his final amateur bout was an impressive and shocking to many win over the beast that is Bubba Cruz. Tell us about Yemi.
Well, you said it right there. This is a guy that can shock the world. He has a lot of pressure. He swings for the fences, a lot of power, and you just really got to watch out for it. And I think going here into this matchup, I think they match up so very well.
Take a look at the tail of the tape when Worlds Collide here in Rome, Georgia. Lathon Lawson, Yemi Oduwole. Lawson 4 years younger than Oduwole. Lawson weighed in 1 pound less than Oduwole for this 160-pound bout, so both guys were over it, but close enough. Both guys at 5'10", and then Oduwole does have the one fight. What else stands out about this fight that should just be tons of action?
Well, let's go back to the mark. Let's talk about Lathon Lawson, the pressure. He wants to close the distance, keep the pressure on, and if he gets on top, keep heavy, very, very heavy. Yemi Oduwole, he can scramble all night long and never get tired. And that's the thing. So these guys really, it's a match made in heaven. Will Lathon Lawson be able to implement his strategy, or will Yemi Oduwole, the wild card, be too crazy in those scrambles?
Oduwole is in the cage and stares over at Lawson. This should be fabulous, and we've got it for you here in Rome. Back to Jennifer.
This bout is scheduled for 3 5-minute rounds. First, fighting out of the blue corner, he weighed in at 163 pounds. Fights out of Rush MMA American Top Team in Macon, Georgia. And tonight he is making his professional mixed martial arts debut, Lathon Lawson. And his opponent across the cage to my left, fighting out of the red corner. He weighed in at 164 pounds, holds a professional record of 0 wins with 1 loss, and fights out of Knuckle Up Fitness in Douglasville, Georgia, Yemi Oduwole. Your referee when the action begins is Northside Nate Man.
Our referee is Nate Mann in this professional MMA bout. It's a catchweight bout at 160 pounds presented by OEB Law. Lathon Lawson in the black and red trunks. Yemi Oduwole in the all black trunks. They touch gloves. We're underway. 3 5-minute rounds in Rome. Live on Flow Combat.
And here we go. You see the circling of Lathon Lawson. Yemi Oduwole taking the center of the cage. Lathon Lawson, the orthodox fighter. Yemi Oduwole was southpaw, but just switched those stances. Again, I mentioned he is a wild card. You have to watch out for those change-ups.
One thing Oduwole does not have is a finish on strikes. He has submissions and decision victories, but not strikes. Lawson is perhaps a little bit more well-rounded with some of his finishes, but now making his pro debut at a different level.
Yes, absolutely. Yemi Oduwole known for those wars. You know, he's had a ton of wars. Lathon Lawson, when he implements himself in the past, it has typically been a one-way show.
Lawson definitely respects Yemi. He really complimented him on the Valor Hour with Casey Oxendine and Tim Lowe and others, but said he does not focus that much on his opponents.
Yeah, he mentioned that fighters evolve and change constantly throughout their training, so to watch too much tape could give you an inaccurate reading of how a fighter is going to perform. You got to get out there and just get in that saddle and ride that horse.
And a great point, too, that he made is you have to adjust during a fight. You just don't know how it's going to work out. You can't just go off of a game plan.
Oh, big shots there by Yemi Oduwole.
Any early advantage you're seeing here, Casey?
I think that a lot of jockeying for position here. That was a big shot landed by Yemi Oduwole. Just as I say it, Lathon Lawson with a beautiful inside leg kick.
His pro debut been a long time coming for Lathon Lawson there on your left. Kick to the front leg by Oduwole.
Oh, nice solid kick there by Lathon Lawson. Yemi Oduwole undeterred here.
Nearing the midway point of round number 1, scheduled for 3 5-minute rounds. Pro MMA when worlds collide in Rome, Georgia, live on Flow Combat. Oduwole looks confident in there. Switches stances again. A feeling out first round for Lawson to you, Casey?
I think that Lathon Lawson is looking for his shot. I think he caught a hard shot from Yemi Oduwole earlier in this round, and he has to be very, very careful. A lot of power from Yemi Oduwole. And one thing, Yemi Oduwole chasing Lathon Lawson as opposed to cutting him off. We've discussed this before. It's very important. Ring generalmanship is very important. Controlling the angles and such. This is a huge cage.
Both of these guys can certainly move. Lawson felt a nice kick to the front leg there by Yemi. Lawson felt like every part of his game was on point coming into this fight.
Lawson just missing that right head kick. Yemi continuing that oblique kick, John Jones style.
Both of these guys have been so impressive when we've seen them in Valor Fights competition. A lot of it is amateurs, but two guys early in their pro career, but certainly worthy.
Now Yemi Oduwole switching back to orthodox and switching back to southpaw yet again. One thing, when he stands southpaw and Lathon Lawson circles away from the left, I'm surprised that Yemi hasn't thrown that right hook. When he was in his last outing against Travis Connor, that's something I remarked on. I wondered, you know, if Lathon Lawson continues to circle away from that power punch. Oh, here we go, the takedown. by Lathon Lawson, but Yemi Oduwole ends up on top.
Wow. And final seconds of the round, that could
And this could be a deal breaker, yeah.
Yeah. So, wow, intriguing. So how do the judges view that?
I think Yemi stole it. I think it was very close going into those closing moments of that first round, and I think Yemi stole it.
Lawson, I agree with you. I think Yemi had a little bit of the advantage, and then flipping that takedown to the top position, I think, can be influential. You never know with the judges.
Yeah, I think it was going to be very close. I think the judges may have been looking for something. I know I was, and that was what it was. And I think it was a close round, though, and I think it's still any man's game, any man's match moving into the second round. Now, one thing you've got to think about is that this will be the first time that Lathon Lawson has fought under pro rules, which means 5-minute rounds. It's a completely different pacing than amateur mixed martial arts at the 3-minute rounds. We saw Yemi Oduwole go the distance in his first pro bout, and it was a war. It was a battle.
Does a bigger cage impact cardio, especially the way these two guys move?
Well, I think it depends on how you're trying to fight. If you're trying to avoid the takedown, then I think that it's beneficial. It helps you in your cardio. If you're looking to close the distance and you're working to close that space, then it can work against you.
Second round underway, 3 5-minute rounds. Yemi's already switched stances a couple times as he did in the first round.
Yemi Oduwole on the prowl again, chasing Lathon Lawson around the cage. Nice leg kick there. Oh, nice shots there by Lathon Lawson. Yemi Oduwole right back in his face.
So much anticipation in this bout. One of the ones you put an asterisk next to when you see the unbelievable card that's been put together here tonight in Rome.
Oduwole so unorthodox. That's something that can throw off the game of a standard stylist such as Lathon Lawson.
Lawson.
See those crescent kicks, the round kicks, the switching of stances.
Lawson 4-3 as an amateur, making his pro debut. Yemi 7-2 as an amateur, 0-1 as a pro. That was a loss to Travis Connor just at Valor Fights 42, a split decision loss as well.
Yemi throws big there. Lawson countering back.
Yeah, as he's stepping back, a little hook.
Oh, here we go. Lawson looking for the takedown.
Two minutes gone by.
Oh, that was a big head kick by Lathon Lawson. You saw the reaction by Yemi Oduwole.
Those reactions are to impact your opponent and the judges, but that didn't hurt.
Notice Yemi Oduwole, he's throwing those kicks, kind of catching the arms of Lathon Lawson, then he's going immediately low with those kicks. And having some success there, many of those shots just superficial at this point.
Spinning side kick by Yemi. Changing up his arsenal a little bit, goes back to the head.
Another leg kick. Those can take their toll.
And Lawson spins and turns his back to Yemi when he takes those sometimes.
Another leg kick.
Lawson maybe landed the cleanest shot, but maybe Yemi landing more volume. And he points to the center of the beautiful Valor Fights logo. There you see it right there, and says, let's do this here. Minute 30 left in round two. Scheduled for 3 5-minute rounds.
Going back towards the head. Watch for Oduwole to go back to the leg again. Misdirection is a big part of the strategy of Yemi Oduwole. And now Lathon Lawson having none of it. He closes the distance.
And they separate.
Again, working up top is Yemi Oduwole. Watch for him to change gears again and go back to that leg kick. I'm telling you, Vince, that will definitely take its toll here in the second. Moving into the third, it could possibly compromise the movement of Lathon Lawson. He really needs to find an answer for that. Put the pressure on Yemi Oduwole. Now, I know he attacked the takedown, but maybe, go up high with those strikes and then hit low, and give Yemi Oduwole a little bit of his own medicine there. There it was, a big straight right hand.
Yemi caught him charging in, though. Let's see if Lawson.
Oh, another big shot by Lathon Lawson. He could have Oduwole in trouble. And as I say it, Oduwole back to his feet here.
Back to their feet.
And
Final
looking
seconds.
for the choke is Yemi Oduwole. Looking for the guillotine. Tell you what, man, that's a tough one to call because I had Oduwole kind of ahead moving into the closing moments. That was a big shot. How badly was Oduwole hurt there? He was able to scramble back to the feet, but man, it makes a tough call for the judges.
And do the judges give any credit to the neck trying for the choke there at the end? I mean, it was with 1 or 2 seconds left in the round, but what do you do with that?
Precisely, and the fact that Oduwole was able to make it back to the feet so quickly and attack, it might have swung in the favor of Yemi Oduwole. I just don't know, Vince.
Wow. It's very strategic. We haven't seen maybe the slugfest or the really damaging shots that you may have expected in this one, especially because they've stayed stand-up. But there's so much strategy, and it's been very, very close to this point.
Yeah, it's not cut and dried. The first 2 rounds are not cut and dried at all. You could have one apiece. You could have 2 for Lawson or 2 for Oduwole. You just never know with the judges scoring.
Double touch of gloves as we start round number 3 in this pro MMA bout. 3 5-minute rounds. The schedule live on Flow Combat in Rome, Georgia. Vince Ferrar, Casey Oxendine. Cage side on the call. 2 terrific fighters in Lathon Lawson and Yemi Oduwole. Lawson in the black and red. Oduwole in the all black.
Big shot there by Lathon Lawson, closing the distance. Working so hard to get the takedown, but it is Yemi Oduwole with the hip toss. Now, Lawson looking for the heel hook.
Yemi trying to get it out.
That is tight, Vince. That can rip your ankle or your knee in a New York minute.
He's out.
He switches to the inside heel hook now.
Yemi's so good at subs and defending.
And again, Lathon Lawson desperately attacking this finish.
And again going after it is Lawson.
Yeah, that's tough right here. 3.5 minutes to go in this round 2. No getting saved by the bell in this position. Now Oduwole passes, and he is in a dominant spot.
Raining down on Lawson.
Could Lawson have blown up looking for that submission?
He definitely went after it, didn't
Yeah, it could have been an adrenaline dump. He was very, very desperately searching for that finish. But still, Lawson tolls forward, but a little slow to get up there.
Yep, I was about to say the same thing, Casey. Very astute. Oh, might have been a forearm connected by Yemi.
Now that being said, Lathon Lawson, if he comes on here You know, that exchange definitely has the round in his favor right now.
Cardio being tested here for both of these guys, especially Lawson in his pro debut.
Yeah, and as I mentioned, Yemi Oduwole, he's been in these deep waters before.
Yep.
And each time you attack that takedown and miss, it's really exhausting.
Boy, it's one thing to train, but with the adrenaline and actual fight, it's a different story,
yeah,
right?
And this is not a good sign, pulling into guard there. In a tough position, and of course we've seen Yemi Oduwole finish a lot of good guys. This is professional MMA, so those elbows are perfectly legal. Lawson needs to watch out for those. Oduwole can get a finish right here. He's gonna have to move.
Lawson's in deep trouble. Has the
crucifix by Yemi Oduwole. Just as I say it, Lawson back up, but he is still in deep waters.
Lawson's hurt. Tries the up kick. He's probably exhausted as well.
Yeah, unable to get up even when there is space. Lawson still remains grounded on his back. Beautiful up kick.
Oduwole's got to be very careful here. This round has gone his way. Got to stay out of danger with a minute left in the fight. Lawson inviting Yemi in. How will this fight finish?
I think Oduwole is looking for that finish, but I think perhaps stepping back and drawing Lawson back to the feet might be his best chance of that. I don't think Lawson wants to be up right now.
Yep. Well, this works too.
Oh, here we go. Looking for the Darce choke. That could be on.
Can Lawson survive? Just never know how the judges saw those first two rounds.
That is it, the tap. Yemi Oduwole with the victory. The first pro win of his career.
We're going to say the same thing. Congratulations to Yemi Oduwole. You could tell, though, you pointed it out. Rather than letting him stand up, he wanted to try to get the finish. And then against a guy like Lawson, that's very meaningful, I'm sure.
Sure. And really a great fight here. Props to both of these men and delivering a very tough performance. But man, Yemi Oduwole, he really enacted the correct game plan and strategy here.
Take us to this replay here,
You see it, he was looking for that Darce choke, and you can see it in his face, grimacing through the exertion of this submission hold. Lathon Lawson held on as long as he could, but ultimately he had to tap out, and it's a done deal.
One arm, man, the strength of Yemi Oduwole to be able to finish on that Darce choke is impressive. And Lathon Lawson, man, nothing to be ashamed of in his pro debut. He's going to have a terrific career.
Sure, absolutely. And, we discussed it. Yemi Oduwole dropped his first professional bout. He came back even stronger. We saw it here tonight. That is what mixed martial arts is all about. Props on a huge future for this young fighter.
Yemi Oduwole gets the third round victory. Darce choke over Lathon Lawson in his pro debut and Lawson's pro debut. And this first pro bout of the night here at When Worlds Collide, Conflict MMA and Valor Fights here in Rome, Georgia. All right, to make it official, we go back to Jennifer.
Your referee stops this bout at 4 minutes and 46 seconds into the third round for your winner by Darce choke submission. Out of the red corner, Yemi Oduwole.